Well, it's official. The Belmont Stakes will be run on June 20th, and it'll be run at a mile and an eighth. And that also means it'll be the first jewel of this year's Triple Crown. And what do I think of this completely just huge change? Honestly, I'm not really that mad. I kind of got all my anger of the possibility of having a shortened Belmont Stakes out earlier, before this was official. As well as that, there's no good way to really do this. What do? Run the Belmont right before the Breeders' Cup Classic? You can't do that. And you can't really run it in August either. Or, I mean, they could, but they probably wouldn't because that's when Saratoga's running. So, they literally only have June, July, or October, and October's already taken up by the Preakness Stakes. So, honestly, they had to run it in June, and obviously, normally running the mile-and-a-half race in June is a normal thing, but with 3-year-olds like these, it just doesn't work. So, honestly, there was no good way to do this. This is the least bad version. A mile and an eighth Belmont Stakes that turns out to be the first jewel of the Triple Crown. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I think it'll be interesting to see the Triple Crown be done differently. I don't think there's gonna be a Triple Crown, and if there is, then oh boy, that poor horse. A lot of people are going to deny his abilities. As well as that, as you can see from the article's title, it will be run with a $1 million purse, and as I mentioned in one of my other videos, the Belmont Stakes will have a point total of 150 points to the winner, 60 points to second place, and 30 points to third place, and I believe 15 points for fourth place. So there's that, and it says here that actually we could see Tiz the Law or Charlatan running in the race. If that's the case, then that would actually be really exciting, because a lot of my friends have said that if there is a Triple Crown contender this year, it could be Tiz the Law, Charlatan, or Nadal. So if we have Charlatan and Tiz the Law running, we have two of our major contenders running. And honestly, I do like the idea of this kind of being like the 2007 Triple Crown season, where you have at least 3 really amazing horses, in this case, Tiz the Law, Charlatan, and Nadal, all duking it out and, defeating each other every time, just destroying each other. I think it's an interesting idea, and I do like how this is turning out, honestly. As well as that, I did also make this amazing, totally professional web timeline here on Sketchpad, basically outlining how this is going to work. I know, it's amazing. So, yeah, we have the Belmont on the 20th of June, running at a mile and an eighth, and then we have a huge gap right here, where races like the Travers Stakes, the Jim Dandy Stakes, the Dwyer Stakes, and probably a bunch of other races that I'm completely forgetting about have to try and find a way to run. It's going to be quite interesting seeing how whoever wins the Belmont will probably have to run in at least one prep race, i.e. the Jim Dandy or the Travers Stakes, if they even run. So it's very likely that they're going to be rescheduled to either early August or early July or something. I'm not sure when the Travers is exactly running. But somewhere around here, the Travers should run. But in between that, there's next the Kentucky Derby, and then a month later the Preakness. And you might think this is a ridiculous amount of time for a horse to rest and win the Triple Crown, but, there is a new challenge. Keeping your horse good for, I'm trying to see how many months, about 4 to 5 months. It ain't always the best thing to do, especially considering that most of the time, these horses are bred to be precocious and run from May to June, and then it doesn't really matter what they do after that. Look at Justify. He probably wouldn't have been able to do this. So, I think it's interesting, and there also is Triple Crown races like England, who do use giant gaps. And look at Japan's Triple Crown. The second jewel is run in May, and the last jewel is run in late October. So this is child's play, honestly, when it comes to, big gaps between Triple Crown races. And I'm perfectly fine with this. I think it's interesting to have 1 year where things are different. It obviously ain't the most amazing thing in the world, but you know what? I'm gonna suck it up and take it, because you know what? We might as well take something. Horse racing is definitely one of the sports that are more fortunate than other sports during the pandemic. So you know what? Let's just be grateful we have a Triple Crown at all. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down your thoughts on this new possible timeline of the Triple Crown, and see you guys next time.